Good Thursday evening, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Danger Zone podcast. Tonight, we'll take a look at the Hall of Fame game. Football is finally back, if you can call it that. The Texans and Bears getting it on tonight. Also, we'll take a look at some news from around the NFL as the injury bug hits the Tennessee Titans. And we'll go to Paris and see what H-Town Simone Biles did this afternoon. All that and more coming up next on the Danger Zone.
You're in the danger zone. You're in the danger zone. You're in the danger zone. You're in the danger zone. You're in the danger zone. You're in the danger zone. You're in the danger zone. You're in the danger zone. You're in the danger zone. You're in the danger zone. You're in the danger zone. You're in the danger zone. You're in the danger zone. You're in the danger zone. You're in the danger zone. You're in the danger zone. You're in the danger zone. You're in the danger zone. You're in the danger zone. You're in the danger zone. You're in the danger zone. You're in the danger zone. You're in the danger zone. You're in the danger zone. You're in the danger zone.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to a special Thursday night Hall of Fame edition of the Danger Zone. I am your host, Ken Moore. To my right is my partner, Floyd B. My boy, what is up? It is football season. Yes, sir. What's going on, brother?
Hey, man, look here, man. I feel like a Christmas day, man. You know, we was kids, boy, we looked forward for Christmas, man. That's how I feel right now, man. That's how I feel right now. Finally, the NFL is back. So let's get this thing started off right, man. As you see, you got that Hall of Fame game. So, we can kick it off and we can go from there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, the Texans and Bears in a rain delay right now. Bears up 21-17. Texans had an early 10-0 lead. Davis Mills looked pretty good out there on the field tonight. Case Keenum came in, and then I kind of quit watching after that. Can't really get into preseason football. I was more interested in the kickoff, to be honest with you, to see how that was going to work. So that is definitely going to be a twist to this NFL season to see how the kickoffs are going to work. We definitely want to welcome everybody into the show tonight. Welcome to the Danger Zone. We definitely want you guys to like, subscribe, and share the show out if you are new to the show. If you're looking for the show, obviously, outside of the link, you can go to Danger-Zone podcast, Danger-Zone podcast on YouTube. And if you are watching on Twitter or on Facebook, you can just click the link. That'll take you to the YouTube version of the show. And we would love to get you guys' thoughts on everything that's going on here tonight. I already got a few people in the house. My boy Over Chicken is in the house. What's up, partner? Welcome to the show. It's been a while. Yes, sir. It has been a while. He said he's on break right now. So obviously he's working. And so obviously glad to have him in to the show here tonight. So without further ado, my man, any takeaways from your Texans tonight early on in this one?
I think the second stringers played a limited amount of plays for both teams, for both sides, to be honest with you. And I think what we saw tonight was a lot of third string guys just making the team. I think that's what we're going to see throughout the whole preseason. So I don't really take too much away as far as player production or growth or anything in the preseason right now. because simply just the way it is. I wouldn't play any of my guys in preseason anyway. I wouldn't anyway. So, so we really don't have anything. Everything is Manila at best, So I'm just hoping that we can get out of here, man. Both teams, man, with no injuries, man. I'm glad they rained delay. I was hoping they rained delay at 5 or 10 minutes before they did it, So they had rained delay. I don't think they're going back out on the field, which is great, So we can kind of minimize these injuries, man. As you can see across the league, we've had some injuries. I'm sure you're gonna get to that down the line. But again, I don't take too much out of especially the first preseason game anyway, So I don't take too much out of it, man. I just hope we get out of there with no injuries, man.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll talk about the kickoff rule here in just a moment. One guy that really stood out for me was on the Chicago side was former Texas Longhorn Colin Johnson on the outside. He made some nice plays on the outside. He was always he's about a 6'6" guy. I think he spent some time with the New Orleans Saints. He was a very good receiver with the Texas Longhorns. Haven't been able to stick anywhere in the NFL. So he could develop. Now, look, they got a tremendous trio over there with DJ Moore, Rome Odunze. They brought over Keenan Allen as well from the Chargers. So they're kind of looking for that 4th, 5th, and 6th guy. And Colin Johnson making a strong case tonight to make himself put himself in good position to possibly make that ball club. And of course, the Bears take on the Titans in week 1 of the NFL season.
Again, I saw the guy Johnson. I was looking at the game driving home. Had it on my phone. Don't tell no cops or nothing. That I hope
Come on, man.
I hope we ain't got no cops. We ain't got no cops that's tuned in right now.
Oh man.
Hey, man, I had it right there. I'm gonna go and program. Get my cable to my car because I can put it in my car too. I just ain't took the time to figure it out. But I'm gonna put it in my car. But anyway, I was looking at a little bit of it, man, and I seen the guy make a few good catches, man, and they were moving the ball. The backup guy, Thick Pen, he's been around. He is an NFL. He is a backup. That's what he is. He's one of those guys you can plug him in there. He can give you a game here or there or two, because he's been around. So it's not like you got a straight trash back there as your backup quarterback. That was a smart move by the Bears. You got a veteran, so he's been around. He's had a lot of starts. So that was great. And hey man, shout out to the Bears for finally showing some stability and getting some talent there. I'm just pissed off at them because why they wouldn't do this for Justin Fields. That's my thing about them. I'm highly pissed off about that because I am a Justin Fields fan. I do believe that this guy, that Justin Fields, has the same skill set and can be the same productive player as Cam Newton.
Some big shoes right there.
Yeah. I really believe that because I really believe he's a better passer than Cam Newton. I really do. I really believe that, man. But you have to let this guy. He just hasn't had a chance, man. I know he's had starts, and they say if you're great, you can win with anything and anybody, but that don't work for everybody. You and I both know that.
Right.
But I just wish they would have gave him more talent, put more talent around him, and gave him a true opportunity, to be a starting quarterback in the NFL.
Well, they gave him 3 years.
Yeah, but
they didn't put a lot around him though. They didn't put a lot around
nothing around him, bro. Nothing.
Yeah.
They didn't put nothing around him. I can't minimize that. I'm not because I like the kid and I like his style of play. But I'm still going to call it like it is. He had nothing around. Listen, DJ Moore I just saw that, 100 catches, 1,400 yards. Somebody was throwing him the ball.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They had DJ Moore last year.
That was it. That was it. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
and I still would say this right here, man, that I would have traded that #1 pick and try to load it up and gave this guy something else, man. You know, and you know, and I think money has something to do with it as well too, because you know, if you keep him and finally in his 4th year he gets it, or you put talent around it, now you got to pay him. You got to turn around.
Pay.
You got to turn around paying. You got to
Yep.
turn around paying. So I think a lot of that had a lot to do with it, you know, big bro. But again, I love the kid. I just think he needs an opportunity. I heard somebody put him in a category with Cardell Stewart. I think he's better. I think he's better than Cardell
Well, he's
Stewart.
bigger. He's faster. He's bigger. He's faster than Cordell was, and he has all the tools that Cordell had. Now, Cordell could also go out and play receiver as well.
Yeah,
I don't know if Justin has that type of skill set.
No, I don't think he had that type of skill set. But
Right.
what I mean when I say slash is that you can line him up outside. You know, if you're doing a little gadget play or something like that, you can line him up outside. You know, and see what it do. You can do a lot more with Justin Fields, man, than you can with Russell Wilson. Here's my only concern about Justin Fields when he get the opportunity again, and he will get it. Turnovers.
Got to protect the football.
Got to protect the football.
Got to protect the football. Absolutely.
He was one of the worst in the league last year in the 4th quarter.
Yeah. He's got to protect the football. Interceptions.
You got to protect
fumbles.
You got to protect
everything.
The football.
You know, if you're gonna run with the football, you got to be able to hold on to the peel.
And throughout the history of the NFL, turnover prone guys don't usually turn out to be Hall of Famers or you know, bona fide franchise quarterback a la Brett Favre. He's probably the only one, you know, he turned the ball over a lot. He turned the ball over a lot, King. Brett Favre turned that ball over a lot, man. So he's an exception to the game. But usually when you get that jacket and it follows you around, you usually don't be no Hall of Famer or top-notch guy, because again you know, you get a ball back, you know, to the team too quick. So they're you know, they put these guys and these players and these weapons around Caleb Williams, and that's great. And let's see what the Bears go. Let's see what direction they go. I think they're going to be a better football team. I do. Just looking at the roster itself, they should be. And they won 7 games last year, King. They won 7 games last year. You know, so you don't think they're good for a couple more?
I do.
Yeah.
It depends on the schedule. It depends on the schedule. I mean, they go
week. If you get a chance, pull it up.
Yeah, I don't have it.
Yeah.
So I know they're gonna take an L in the first game. I don't know what's gonna happen after that.
I don't know, Ken, about that. I'm gonna think very, very hard on that one.
Okay.
You know,
we'll figure it out.
Without D-Hop, you know.
So also in the game tonight, they unveiled a new kickoff strategy. I'm curious what you guys think about that in the chat. There wasn't any big kickoff returns tonight. I didn't watch any XFL football, so I don't know how it played out during the XFL season. Very interesting strategy. There are a couple of things I don't know that they did not touch on tonight. I learned a couple of things, but there was a couple of things left unanswered. One was, all right, they said if the ball is kicked between the goal line and the 20-yard line and you don't return it, then the ball will come out to the 20. If it goes into the end zone, then it'll come out to the 30.
25, 30.
30. The 30. My question is, what if the ball doesn't even make it to the 20-yard line? Like, what if the kicker slips or something and the ball just kind of squibs and it dies before it gets to the 20-yard line? Is it a dead ball? Do they have to re-kick it? Is it a penalty against the kicking team? Like, what happens in that scenario? Can the kicking team, like if you squib kick it inside the 20 and the receiving team doesn't fall on the ball, can the kicking team fall on the ball and is that a turnover? Like, there are certain things that they really didn't get into on the broadcast that I still have questions about. I haven't had a chance to go to the rule book and research it. I just haven't had the time or really cared enough to do it. But now I'm curious what happens in those situations.
Well, I know for sure that they can't release from the line of scrimmage until the ball has been in play. I saw that tonight. And I saw a lot of false starts, a lot of false starts.
Yeah, I think there were at least two.
Yeah, but now it was the Texans had two in a row by themselves. Okay. So it was quite a few. But what I did see in the lineup and the rule that, again, that they can't release until the ball is in play, which means he either field it or it go beyond the 10, the 10 yards that it has to go for you to recover it of that there. Just me looking at that, the guy that the Texans had back there was Sims, who's a very good special team player. He's a good punt return and kickoff return. That the way the rules is now, and guys really got a burst of speed, kind of like way before the defenders can really release from the line of scrimmage. When he catches the ball, now they can release, but he's in motion. He fit especially if he's running up to catch it. He's in motion. Mm-hmm. And guys like Sims, quick guys, fast guys, guys that's pretty quick, I think they're going to benefit from that rule. Mm-hmm. Because they have a burst already. They have a burst. And really nothing has been set up. Not even the blocking really has been set up because they can't do anything until you catch the ball.
Right.
So I see, fast guys being able to, because they can accelerate them. That's when I look at a 4-3 guy, 4-2 guy, 4-4 guy. They can accelerate real quick. And I think that it's going to benefit them. I don't like the rule. For one, I don't like changes. For one thing, I don't like changes. I believe if it ain't broke, don't fix it. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. I didn't think the kickoff rule was broke.
I think it was broke.
You do?
No, I don't. Yeah, it was broke. It was definitely broke because you couldn't get onside kicks at all. There was only like 20% of the kicks that were returned. It was almost turned into like the extra point used to be. It was just, time where you go to the restroom or you go to the fridge, you go fix your sandwich because you knew that nothing was going to happen. Now, I'm not in favor of a radical change like this because there's several aspects of the game that changes with this. One is the construction of your roster, right? So you used to have those suicide guys, your Bill Bates and guys like that made their mark on the special teams. That's how they earn positions on the team, by being great special team players. So now you take that aspect away from guys going down to be able to make tackles. It's kind of switch where you have to have a lot of wide receivers and running backs and maybe defensive backs that can get back there and return the kicks like you were talking about. So I think that's one aspect that's going to change. The second aspect is you have to declare when you're going to do an onside kick. So there's no element of surprise. So imagine these rules in the Super Bowl when the Saints beat the Indianapolis Colts. The Saints mainly won that Super Bowl because they came out of the locker room with a surprise onside kick to start the second half. And that changed the entire momentum of the football game. So now you have no element of surprise with the onside kick. You have to declare, and you can't even do an onside kick until the fourth quarter if you're behind in the football game. So, I mean, to me, that's just way too radical. So I'm with you in that. I think something needed to change, but I think this is, I mean, this is like, like stuff we used to make up on the school ground, or in the neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? All right. Touching the street and tackle on the grass. Sticking on the sideline. You know what I'm saying? That's stuff we used to do back in the hood, man. When you're trying to find somewhere to go play ball, man. So I think it's too gimmicky. I think it's going to really, for people that like to bet, I like to bet football. You like to bet football. So it's really going to be interesting to see how it messes with the betting lines in games, how games flip in the fourth quarter. You get a big kickoff return or you get a penalty because you take off too soon. And I mean, it's just too many fluky things that can happen that can flip the outcome of a game. And I really don't like that. I don't like gimmicky stuff.
Yeah, I don't. I don't need it. I don't. I mean, I understand, with time, some things, bring upon changes sometimes. Time bring upon changes. And changes is needed in some situations. And God has blessed us to live to be as old as we are. So we kind of saw quite a bit of changes, but it hasn't been as often as one would think,
Right.
Going from 12 games to 14 games to 16 games to 17 games. We was blessed enough to see that formation. But I remember when it was 14 games for a long time.
Right.
For a long time. So again, it's just some things we can grow into and adjust quickly, and then some things we just can't. But the powers that be, they're the one that's calling these shots, man. And even though we may not agree with a lot of changes, but it's not gonna change anything. We're gonna tune in, we're gonna adjust, and we're gonna enjoy the product that they put out there, But I just think I'm just a strong believer in if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with you there, man. I definitely agree with you there. So if you guys are in the chat, we definitely want to hear what you guys think about the new NFL kickoff rule. I'm not really for it. I don't like it. I think it changes too much of the game. It has the potential, at least, to change a lot of the game. And then you know how you got Devin Hester going into the Hall of Fame as the greatest kick returner of all time. So what if you get a guy now that starts returning kicks with this condensed players? Do you give them the same credit that you would give a Devin Hester? It's almost like changing the home run, or changing if you add a 4-point shot in basketball. How does that affect, your points compared to, say, what Steph Curry did? If in 10 years the NBA adds a 4-point shot, so it's just kind of, I don't know, man. It's kind of weird. It's kind of weird how they got that set up. So,
I think I had seen or possibly even heard that I don't know if this rule is there to stay. So we'll see how that go with that. Again, I think I may have heard. I'm not sure, so don't quote me on it. But I don't know that this rule, the kickoff rule, is in pact. I don't know if it was this is a trial basis. I know it's the first year of. I don't know if they was giving it the first year or something. It left the door open for it to, to go back. I'm not real sure because I've heard so much. I can't recall, so I don't want to.
Well, they can always change the rule if they don't
Yeah.
like it. I remember,
Yeah.
a few years ago when they changed the pass interference rule and they changed the catch rule. So they're always tinkering with the rules. That's one thing about the NFL. They're going to always tinker with the rules until they figure it out. And if it doesn't work, then they'll get rid of it and they'll go back to what they were doing previously. So they're definitely not afraid of change. So for those of you just joining us right now, the Hall of Fame game between the Bears and the Texans is in a weather delay in the third quarter. Bears were on top 21-17. I don't know if they'll restart the game or not. They, if that rain continues, they may just call it, and let everybody get on out of there because you don't want guys coming back on the field on a wet field in a meaningless game getting injuries. But they still got some commercials that they need to sell, so they may make them get back out there and play. A lot of news going on around the NFL. This is the time of year that we both hate and all the fans hate because no news is good news, but usually when there's news, there's bad news. And there's a lot of teams with a lot of bad news going on around the NFL over the last couple of days. And we'll kind of take a look at it here. The Titans, DeAndre Hopkins is going to miss the remainder of the preseason. Paul Kahorsky, a writer that covers the Titans in the Nashville area, he was the first to report today that apparently D-Hop suffered some type of knee injury. They believe actually on Wednesday, and he was seen with a wrap around his knee this afternoon. And reportedly, he's going to be out 4 to 6 weeks, which would wipe out the remainder of the preseason for him. The big problem with that is twofold, right? The good news is they have Calvin Ridley, they have Tyler Boyd, they have Treylon Burks. So they have a good quartet of receivers. The problem is you got a brand new offense, you got a brand new offensive coordinator, and you really want D-Hop and Will Levis to continue to get in the sync. They built a really good chemistry last year, but that was with Tim Kelly as the offensive coordinator. Now going into a new system, you don't get that chemistry. You don't get those reps in practice. So the earliest that we're going to see D-Hop is week 1 against the Chicago Bears that we saw tonight. Your initial thoughts on D-Hop being out for the Titans the remainder of the preseason?
Man, I'm disappointed, man. I'm disappointed. Again, I'm always a fan of D-Hop. To me, he will always be H-Town, no matter where he wind up at, because that's where he has done the bulk of his career and being successful. He had a nice run in Arizona, but again, he started getting injuries and PED suspensions and some of that there. So he kind of took a back seat a little bit while these young guys Chase and all of them go to another level. But before them guys, you and I both know who it was. It was DeAndre Hopkins, So I hate to see him go down like that, man. I hope they don't rush him back too soon because he still got a whole lot of football left in him. But you need a guy like D-Hop when you have a young quarterback that you have in Levis, man, going into his second year. He needed that guy. He needed that connection, somebody that he had already been working with, as that security blanket, that safety blanket, as he learned Calvin Ridley and Boyd and the other guys that's on the team. I think Burks was there last year too, but I think Burks was out. Burks got hurt, didn't he? Didn't he get hurt last year?
Burks been hurt.
Yeah.
All 3 years he's been there. 2 years he's been there, he's been hurt.
Yeah. I don't think he had a lot of playing time. I think he got hurt last year. So again, that's real strong, man. And then you and I know about the game of football, basketball, anything for that matter. When you out and not participating and working out and everything, man, when you do get back on the floor or on the field, it take a while for you to get back into that rhythm, man. So I think that's a big blow to the Titans, man. But again, we'll get a chance to see just how the new coach of the Titans, how he can handle these situations and how they can move forward. And maybe some of them guys, Burke, some of the guys step up, man, and see which way they can lead that offense, man. But D Hop is definitely gonna be missed. He's definitely gonna be missing that lineup. So he'll be I don't know if he'll be back, opening day. I would hope so. But I'm thinking he may go the whole distance, which he'll be back in week 3. And when my co-host return back, he can show us the schedule possibly and see who they play in week 3. But again, this is what I kind of hate about preseason, man. I don't really look at preseason just for the overall play. I look at the preseason because I love football. I love football, but I know it's meaningless. So I don't put too much into what I'm seeing. But what I do hope and while I'm watching is that no injuries occur, man. Because I want everybody healthy, man. I want us all healthy. I want all the teams healthy. I want the best. I want every team to be able to put their best product out there on the field, man. So again, shout out D Hop, get well, man, get back on the field, man, and show them guys you still a top tier receiver in this game, and that your best days are not behind you, which some people would think. So let's see which way this goes, and just see how they can Tyler Boyd and the boys can step up their game. Calvin really
no doubt.
Let's see,
absolutely.
Let's see what Calvin really can do now.
Yeah, absolutely. My boy Friendly Rob was in the house. He said, yeah, we don't need to rush him back. If he can't go week 1, then he just can't go. And I second that. Like I said, the Titans, they got, a number of different receivers that they can go to now. Traylon Burks, he's going to have to step up into that number 2 role. Ridley will go from number 2 to number 1. Tyler Boyd can stay in his number 3 role, so he should be good to go. Ryan Walker in the house. What's up, partner? He said, I think we play the Packers week 3. I know we play the Jets in week 2. I'll take a look at the schedule. Or maybe one of you guys can pull it up in the chat. I'm not sure who we play week 3, but I know we start off with the Bears and the Jets the first 2 weeks of the season. So D-Hop will be out for the preseason.
Yeah. Shout out to Walker, Mr. Ryan, Mr. Walker, because he when you had to step out, we was talking about DeAndre Hopkins injury, and I don't think he will be ready for week 1, and I wouldn't rush him back. I think it may be the whole 4 to 6 weeks. I think it'll be the whole 6 weeks, which will bring him to week 3. So that's how that came about. There, we were figuring out who the Titans had in week 3, and
gotcha.
Yeah, he pulled that up. So it's Green Bay. So that's kind of the date. If I was a fan of the Titans, I would kind of mark for sure that he would be back that time of the schedule. But I'm not a fan of the Titans, so hey man, you rush him back. I hope you don't rush him back because I happen to love the guy personally, man. He's done. Look, you see this here, man. This look here. This is what I got on. I got on D-Hop jersey, man. So I want him back. I want him back.
That's cute. All right, some other Titan news. Outside linebacker Arden Key. It was reported also by Paul Kahorsky a few days ago that he would be facing a 6-game suspension. That is still to be determined. The league has not officially ruled Arden Key to be suspended. It is under review. I tweeted that early this morning. So Arden Key has not yet been suspended. He could be suspended, or depending on the investigation and the review, he may avoid suspension. So as of right now, Arden Key is still good to go. Now, one guy that we do know that is suspended is his former teammate, Danico Autry, who has been suspended 6 games by the NFL. Of course, Danico signed a 2-year, $20 million deal with the Houston Texans in the offseason, and he's supposed to be a big piece of that defensive line with Will Anderson and Danielle Hunter. Your thoughts on the suspension to Danico Autry?
I'm their number one fan, so you know I'm a little disgusted. I'm a little disgusted. But there's an old saying: can't miss what you never had. So he has not played a down for the Houston Texans, you know,
And he won't for 6 more weeks.
and he won't for 6 more weeks. So, you know, it is what it is with these guys and these suspensions, these PEDs. They all claim they don't know what they put in their body. All this other stuff, man. So you know, hey man, he did that, man. I remember when D-Hop last year, he got suspended 6 games for the same thing. You know, again,
2 years ago. 2
I
years
said
ago.
last 2 years ago. Okay, yeah, and that you know, it hurt me to my soul, man. But for you to tell me you sitting up here and don't know what you put in your body, man. You know, so that's my take on that. I hate it happen, man, because we got an opportunity to get out the gate and get out the gate fairly well. Without him, I don't even know how they were going to play him. You know, I always thought he was an outside linebacker, but I don't know if they was going to put him on the line, put him on the end, and put his hand in the dirt. I have no idea how they were going to play him and Hunter, you know, on the field at the same time, because, you know, Hunter plays inside technique and then he spread out outside sometime too. So again, you know, him not being able, I don't know if he can practice or not. I don't know how they rules it with suspension. Can they practice?
He still practice. Yeah,
So, you know, he's gonna get his practice rep. He's gonna get some practice rep, because you got to get a guy that's gonna play the reps. The guy that's gonna play needs the reps. You know, I can understand backups get some reps and some things. Even backup quarterback get a few reps here and there because they are available if needed. So I wouldn't be concerned about how many reps that Autry get, because
I think
need
you guys go ahead.
Because I think the guy that's going to be on the field need the reps. You know,
I think you're really going to miss Danico Autry. I was really, at the time, on the record, I was really upset when he left. Now, when we drafted T'Vondre Sweat to replace him, I was all good. We got an Outland Award winner from the University of Texas, the great University of Texas in Austin. So I was all good once we got T'Vondre Sweat. I did not want to see Danico Autry go to the Houston Texans. I'm not going to even front, because he had been tremendous for the Tennessee Titans over the last 2 to 3 years, led the team in sacks during his time coming over from Indianapolis. Even when he's not sacking the quarterback, he's putting pressure on the quarterback. He is a tremendous defensive lineman. Now, of course, he's older, and that may be, you know, why he was taking whatever he was taking, even though he said he didn't know what he was taking. But, you know, it is what it is. Maybe him and Arden Key, obviously, they were teammates last year. Maybe they were taking the same thing. Maybe Arden Key may get off if his test, you know, if they find, you know, something wrong with the test. We'll see what happens with that. But I really think you guys are going to miss him, particularly against the Indianapolis Colts in week 1. Because if it's one team that Danico does, and if it's one thing he plays his ass off again, every time the Titans played the Indianapolis Colts, Danico Autry was all over that field. Because you know how players are when they go back and play their old team. They play harder, they play with an edge, and they want to show them what they missing. And I think that game, if no other, I think you're going to miss it. Now, after that, you'll get into a rhythm. And like you said, you don't miss what you don't have. But fact that they were counting on him to be a starter. I think that's going to be significant because you got some high-end players as far as starters in Will Anderson and Hunter, but you don't have a lot of depth on that defensive line.
No, you don't. No, we don't. We don't. We don't. We lost both our DTs, both of the DTs. So you're right about that. And again, I can't remember him playing it with hands in the dirt, but I believe you when you say that. He played with his hands in the dirt. Again, we are thin across the D line, but I'm not too concerned. I'm not too concerned. I believe in D'Amico Ryan, and he's going to scheme up plays to get other guys open. Next man up. Let's see where he goes with that, who the backup is, and we'll go from there with that. But I was looking forward to him too. I know he had a great season last season with the Titans. I knew that. But I'm just looking forward to this, man. These free agent acquisitions, man. Joe Mixon hasn't practiced. I
got a question. I got a question about that because obviously Joe Mixon played in Cincinnati with Brian Callahan, the Titans' new head coach. And when we lost Derrick Henry, I was like, man, I really want us to go after Joe Mixon because he knows the system. But instead, we went after Tony Pollard. And I don't know if you've been watching Hard Knocks or not with the New York Giants. I watched the first couple of episodes. It's actually been pretty interesting because it goes through how they set they draft board and they free agent board. And they were kind of in the same position as the Titans preparing to lose Saquon Barkley. They were looking at what running backs they would go after in case Saquon Barkley left. And I don't know who they eventually ended up signing. I think they signed Singletary, if I'm not mistaken, from the Texans.
Yeah.
They signed Singletary. But they had Tony Pollard on their board, and I think they had him on the board before Joe Mixon. And it's obviously that the Titans had Tony Pollard on their board before Joe Mixon because Tony Pollard was the first free agent that we signed. So I wonder if that injury, whatever injury it was that Joe Mixon had, is still lingering coming into this season. What, if anything, do you know about his injury situation?
They're not talking about it, man. They're not talking about it. I was trying to remember, did he finish the year out last season? And I just can't recall. I can't remember. But his style of playing, how he runs hard. He's pretty. He's a big guy. And he can run. But I am concerned with this. He's not even practicing. I'm highly concerned with this. Is that did we give up? Well, we gave up a 4th round, maybe a 6th round, something like that. And we gave him money.
Oh yeah, because y'all traded for him and then y'all gave him an extension, didn't you?
Yeah. We traded for him.
I forgot. He
wasn't a free agent.
I forgot about that. I forgot about that.
Yeah. We traded for him.
I'm trying to pull up his stats.
I don't know. Like again, I don't know if he got something lingering, or he's just I don't what he
played
29.
He played in all 20. He played in all 17 games last year.
Okay.
Yeah, he played in every game. Actually, in the last game of the season, he had his best game. He had 14 carries for 111 yards and a touchdown against Cleveland. Now, I think Cleveland were playing their backups in that game.
Yeah, they were already locked into the number 5 seed.
Right. So Cleveland were playing their backups in that game.
Yeah.
But he had a big game, 14 carries, 111 yards. and a touchdown. That was his best game of the season. Actually, that was the only game last year that he rushed for over 100 yards.
Okay.
That was the only
So
game last year that he rushed
again,
for over
I
100
don't I
yards.
don't know. I haven't heard of any injuries, and it was just reported that he's not practicing. So
So, because it makes me wonder why you guys would go sign Cam Akers if Joe Mixon and you already got Damian Pierce.
yeah. So I mean,
So,
and like I say, we gave him an extension. We gave him an extension. I think Nixon extension is 3 years, 21 million, something like that. We gave him an extension. So for him not to be playing, and you bringing in Cam Akers, who, he was out last year. He got injured last season. Cam Akers.
yeah, he played a little bit tonight.
And so we'll see how that works. I like Cam. I like Cam
I used to like Cam before he got hurt.
Yeah, before I just finished say that, man. I like Cam. I like them down with the Rams before he started getting hurt.
Yeah, he had 5 carries tonight for 13 yards.
I'm okay with that. I'm okay. I think he should make the team.
And he caught 2 passes for 18 yards. So, yeah, he got 7 touches tonight.
So I'm almost sure he's going to make the team. And again, it's just not a whole lot we can go on now in this preseason, man. So right now, I'm just hoping that everybody get through this, pretty much, injury free as possible, man. So this is gonna be interesting. I think we're gonna, I'm more concerned with training camp than I am the preseason games.
Right.
Because we know the starters are practicing. We know that. And we know the starters more than likely not going to play in these preseason games, man. So that's what I'm more concerned. That's what hurt me when I'm looking at, the D-Hop injury. And I don't know if you was aware that Justin Herbert broke his foot. So he's going to be in a boot a minimum 2 weeks. So it's very unlikely that he will start the regular season. To be honest, I just saw those stats go across the screen there, and they were showing the first 4 games. The Chargers' first 4 games. I didn't remember who it was. But again, that's what I don't want to see, man. I just don't want to see these injuries, man. And again, he wasn't in a game. He was in practice. So that's my biggest concern, man, is the stars not being able to be on the field, man. Kind of take a little sizzle out the steak a little bit, so to speak,
Yeah, so Justin Herbert, they diagnosed him with, it's not a broken foot. He's got plantar fasciitis, but he will be in the boot, as you mentioned, for a couple of weeks, and then they'll reevaluate him. But we all know when basketball players get plantar fasciitis, that is something that can linger for the entire season. And then I don't know if it's his left foot or his right foot. I don't know if it's his plant foot. If it's his plant foot, that can really be a problem because you're always putting pressure on that back foot, and that can be extremely painful. And you got a new coach in John Harbaugh. So, you in that division with Patrick Mahomes. So that can spell doomsday already for the Los Angeles Chargers. The Colts, their leading sacker from last year, Samson Ebukam, he's out for the season with a torn Achilles. And then they are really thin on the defensive line right now. I think they have 2 more guys out. And they'll have to I think they signed a guy from the USFL yesterday just to give them some depth. So teams are really having problems, particularly in this division, keeping their edge rushers on the field. So it's been a problem so far around the NFL. Another injury note today, and definite prayers going out to my boy Deontay Foreman from Texas City here in Houston, playing with the Cleveland Browns now. Obviously used to play with the Texans. He was drafted by the Texans, played with the Titans, spent last couple of seasons with the Carolina Panthers, the Chicago Bears, in training camp with Cleveland. Had a serious injury today, reportedly had a head-on collision with another player, had to be taken by ambulance to the hospital. They said he did have movement in his extremities this afternoon, so that's good news. But we definitely want to send out shouts and prayers to Deontay and his family, and hopefully that he can recover, and hopefully he can recover and stay healthy. I don't know how serious the injury is. The Browns haven't released any more information since earlier today, so hopefully we can get an update on his situation tomorrow.
He had all his extremities. I read the news break. I think you sent that to me, and I read it. So he was, it's a good thing he had all his extremities was able, man. So that's a good sign, man. But again, man, I just hate to see the injuries, man. And it hit a little bit personal when we have had some sort of affiliation with the player, so to speak, with him being both a H-Town guy and from playing for the Texans and the Titans. And so man, we don't ever want to see that for any player. But again, it's it hit us a little home because we have some attachment. We have some attachment to the player,
Yeah, especially me, man, because I covered a kid in high school at Texas. Him and his brother when they were in high school, and of course they lost their dad a couple of years ago to was killed in an automobile accident. So it's been a real tough couple of years for Deontay and his family, and I would definitely hate to see anything happen to him. So hopefully he gets well soon.
Shout out to him and the family, man. Come on, get well, man. Get back on the field, man.
Yeah, no, even if you don't get back on the field, I just want to see the brother healthy. So, he can enjoy the rest of his life, man. He ain't got to play football no more. You know what I'm saying?
Always.
So, So we're going to wrap it up. We're going to talk a little Olympics, man. Our girl, Simone Biles, another H-Town legend, did her thing today, taking home the gold in the all-around. She come home with gold again for the first time since 2016. Of course, we know what happened in the Tokyo Olympics when she got the twisties and she was going through the mental health issues. It was good to see her husband there, Jonathan Owens, I believe. Used to play with the Texans. Now he plays with the Chicago Bears, and he was there to support them. So shout out to the Bears for allowing him to go there to be with his wife and support her. He'll be back in Chicago on Saturday to rejoin the team. But definitely shout out to Simone, man. And man, I watched it live today, and they kept mentioning on the broadcast, how she looked nervous. Like she looked more nervous than she had before in any event. And I think she even talked about it after the events, that it was kind of a different type of feeling today. Maybe she knows this is her last Olympic event. I don't know if she'll participate in 2028 when it comes to Los Angeles. She may be a mom or something by then, so she may lose that gymnastics body. But to put on the type of performance, the type of clutch performance that she did today, it shows that she kind of has that gene, that Tom Brady gene, that Derek Jeter gene, that Kobe Bryant, that Michael Jordan, where, okay, it's on. And yeah, y'all did y'all thing before me, but now I get to go last. And I know the score that I have to beat. And she went out, I think she needed like a 13 something, and she ended up with a 15. Like just did it on the all-around floor competition, man. So shout out to her. I'm very proud of her.
Yeah, man. I mean, congratulations to her, man. And It just shows. And by the way, um, these participants in these Olympic Games, man, they are, they're not getting paid, but what they are doing is working on a big paycheck. It's called endorsements. So this young lady will be set for the rest of her life because everyone is going to be pulling for her. She has that personality, she has that it factor. My only concern is, do she want that? Do she want all of that? But again, with her previous stunt in Tokyo and the issues that came about, do she want to compile that on her plate? A lot of athletes, we have a lot of athletes are the Tim Duncans who, hey man, I love winning, I'm going to win, but all that other stuff, I don't want that. I don't want that. Kawhi Leonard, for that matter, I want to win, I want to do it, but I don't want that other stuff. I don't want that. So with her and gymnastics and that, she's going to need that.
Right.
She's going to need that to get what she rightfully deserves, and that's her bag, man. So I looked at it from that point there, is she ready for that? Or do she even want that? So again, shout out to her. Hope she make the best decision choices for her so she can go get her bag. She rightfully deserve it. Now I'm waiting on Sha'Carri Richardson because I want her to get her bag. And hey man, we gonna bring a bunch of goals, man. We looking so good, man. We got goals, Ken, and events that we've never had goals in before. The men's what was that? The men rugby team something after 100 years. 100 years.
Man, I don't know. I couldn't tell you, bro.
We finally got the bronze.
I'm not watching all that.
Yeah,
I'm not watching all that.
I'm looking for history. I'm looking for history, man.
The women's rugby team looked fun. The highlights I saw of that.
You seen that 94-yard run? You seen that?
Yeah, looking like Derrick Henry stiffing on people. I'm like, man, I don't even know where they play women's rugby in the U.S. Where they do that at?
Man, you just killed my groove saying looking like Derrick Henry, man. Come on, man. Give me another one. Say looking like Walter or somebody, man. Let it go. Ken, let it go. He has divorced y'all. Let it go, bro.
That's all good. I ain't tripping. That's all good. That's all good.
And I think and speaking on Derrick Henry, I think he's gonna have a monster year.
I do too. Derrick Henry might run for another 2,000 yards, man.
I think he'll have a monster year, but they're gonna fall short. They're not gonna be a better team as they were last year. They're not. They're not. Defensively, they're not.
I agree.
Not. Defensively, they're not. They're not going to be.
Defensively, no. Yeah, defensively, no. It'll be interesting to see.
Going back to who they are, you brought in the right one. They brought in the right one. They brought in the right one to really be their true identity. Listen, man. Let's quit trying to make guys something that they ain't, or players something that they ain't. I know we kind of jumping from Simone. We jumping from Simone. Listen, man. Lamar Jackson is not a 4,000-yard passing guy, and he never will be. I'm stern on that, Ken, and he never will be. And he never will be. Play to who they are. Keep you some good receivers out there. He can keep him 35, 36, 3,700 yards a year. And be who they are offensively, man. You got Derrick Henry. Derrick got 2 more stud years, I really believe, in Baltimore. Do you agree?
At least one. At least one.
Stud.
I have to see. I need to see how this year goes.
Okay, I give you that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But they got it, man. You know, I mean, go back to that. But again, defense is going to be their problem this season. I really believe that. But again, shout out Simone. Love from H-Town. You know, bring that gold on back in, baby. Bring that gold home.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, man. Well, that's going to wrap it up for the night, folks. We'll be back with y'all on Sunday evening. More Olympic talk. We'll see what happens around the NFL camps. No games this weekend. The games kick off full force next weekend. We will have the Hall of Fame induction ceremony. Andre Johnson, among others, going in. Julius Peppers, Devin Hester, Dwight Freeney, Randy Gradishire. Man, I used to love watching the Orange Crush, Denver Broncos, and Randy.
That's all they had. That's all they had with Randy Gradishire.
I used to love watching those guys play the Orange Crush defense of the Denver Broncos. So I look forward to seeing those guys get inducted into the Hall of Fame on Saturday afternoon and trying to catch at least some of the induction speeches from those guys. So my brother, we will see you on Sunday. Get you some rest. We got one more day of the week. Tomorrow is Friday.
Hey, man, I got 2 days. I got 2 Fridays. I start my Friday on Thursday.
Hey, there you go. There you go. I got to get it tomorrow. So
Thursday is my Friday. I got to go too, but Thursday is my Friday too, man. Shit, Thursday is my Friday too, man.
I got
Hey, man, it's always a pleasure. Looking forward to seeing you the next time, big bro, man. And keep it real and stay safe, man.
All right, man. We'll see y'all on Sunday. Peace.
Bet that.